What's up, guys? It's your boy Jimmy P back again. It's that time of year, the end of year. So I thought we would go ahead and bust out my 2019 Commander end of year deck list, because I can't just let 2019 go out without showing you guys my power. So last year I had 16 decks. This year I'll be showing you 22 decks. That's quite an increase of Commander play, even though I'm not playing as much Magic as I was last year. Just been working a lot and working on some other projects and stuff. But I'm hoping in 2020 I can get back to playing at some shops and some tournaments and stuff. Definitely looking forward to Theros. So I plan on getting the Ashiok Planeswalker deck as well as much Theros as possible, so I can get my hands on that Ashiok, because it's just ridiculous. So the format I'm going to use is similar to last year, where the decks that you've already seen, I'm not going to pull out some highlights, but the new decks I'm going to talk a little bit about and show you what's going on with them and what I like to do. And with that, let's go ahead and get started. So, mental note here, the Izoni deck that you saw last time I had Commander decks is no more. I couldn't get that deck to run. I've been having a lot of trouble with Golgari, actually. There's so many great cards, but I just can't get it to win in Commander. So, back to the drawing board with that one. But we'll go ahead and start it off here with Admiral Beckett Brass, the Pirates. Really fun deck. I enjoy looting quite a bit. Really aggro with this deck. Lots of fun tricks. Great for group games, one-on-one, not so much. We got Krufix, God of Giving Me Mana. That's an elf deck, actually. Control elves. This deck is hit or miss. I enjoy playing it, but win-loss record is not so good. But good enough to stay intact. One of the old school sleepers, one of my oldest commanders, Rurik Thar. This is just great old school commander. Aggro, green, red, suppression, big fatty creatures. Can't go wrong. You hold the board down, obviously, because they can use their non-creature spells without paying a hefty price. Phalanx Mill. Mill is always fun to play in Commander. Your chances of winning are slim to none, but when you do win, it's just great to hold that over your opponent's heads. Sometimes if I'm playing this in a group game, because I get spicy, I'll substitute a boomerang in here so that I can boomerang my Fraying Sanity and attempt to double mill, because I got the Traumatize Fraying Sanity combo in here. I got lots of stuff that'll let me get stuff back from the graveyard or like double cast things. So fun deck to play. In group games, people don't expect it. I've gotten people down to like 1 or 2 cards. Super fun deck. Good old Guafa! This is a total control fatty flyers deck. A lot of fun with the politicking with this, but it's all about building up your pillow fort and then just wiping the board and then coming in with big creatures. This was one of my newer decks when I had first filmed the 2018 Commander video. This deck is awesome for group games. I have a lot of fun playing this type of deck. A lot of chance for destruction, playing cards like Master of Cruelties, other fatties. That's that Rakdos guild kit, if you were wondering what edition of Rakdos that is. Very, very shiny. I'm playing the other Rakdos in there. Lots of just spicy, high casting cost demon stuff. I got a lot of artifacts, mana fixing and stuff in there to make that stuff happen. Super fun. Grenzo. It's black-red goblins. Not really too much more to say there. I keep the casting cost pretty low so that I can Just try to always have 1 or 2 goblins on the field at all times. Good for group games, good for one-on-one. You can really get a strong advantage if you play Grenzo on turn 3 and you're playing a lot of 2 and 3 drop goblins. The game will get out of control pretty fast. Good old Thraxi Mandar, like my first or second commander deck ever. That's just zombie aggro. Tons of fun. Lots of really powerful cards, because that's when I first got into commander and I was just like, oh, what powerful cards can I buy and put into commander decks? And it's just evolved over the years and turned into this beastly. People fear this in group games. Slow it's a kind of a slow build in one-on-one, but that just kind of shows the meta that I was playing in when I had first started, and you know, I still enjoy playing the deck, so I haven't really changed it. Now we got Sigarda humans. I got a lot of stuff going on in this deck. This was a brand new deck I had just built last time when we had done this as well. It's just about, you know, making a bunch of humans, making them hex proof and buffing them up and swinging wide. Lots of white removal in here to exile anything that might get in my way. Protection for Sigarda as well. It's a fun deck. It doesn't have a very good win-loss record as well, but it's won enough to keep itself alive. Obadiah, good old Obadiah. I can always count on this guy to get me a win when I'm going on a losing streak. One of my favorite decks I've ever built. Very powerful. Orzhov in Commander is super fun. You're gaining a bunch of life. I'm playing stuff like Sanguine Bond and Exquisite Blood, trying to jack fools, doing combos. Lots of drain. I'm playing Urborg and stuff in there, so I can just completely go black if I need to, and playing the good drain spells and corrupt and things of that nature. So old school, super good. Alright, Bladewing the Risen, Black Red Dragons. This deck has been getting built over the year. A lot of help got put into it when M19 came out, because they had a lot of cool dragon stuff in there. So Izzet Dev had gotten a lot of that and had helped me acquire a bunch of cards to make this deck go better than it was doing when I had first built it. Lots of legendary dragons, lots of dragons that double dragons. Oh, haha, yeah, just like the game, double dragon. But doing things like Haste Face, Dragon Tempest, coming in wide, you know, trying to swing for at least 10 or 15 damage per swing, that kind of stuff. It's a dragon deck. Lots of board wiping. I have a lot of cheap casting cost dragons in there, believe it or not, like 4 drops, because it's just good to get them out and get going, so that you can do a bunch of... I have cards in there that have dragon synergy and things of that nature. Alright, so next is my Infect deck. A lot of people hate this deck because, of course, the rules of Infect in Commander are the same as in any other Magic game, where 10 poison counters and you're dead. A lot of people in my play group play combo decks, or just really powerful decks. I have a strong metagame in my play groups, so it's fun to bust this out and put the fear in them, because at any moment they can die to a poison Rancor creature, or busting out with Caressa Phyrexia to make them get 3 poison tokens when they're at 6 or 7, and just causes major crying. Really fun deck to play. I don't bust it out too much. The tried and true champion, probably my greatest, you know, she's definitely my bottom bitch. This is Inala. I've put up different videos about me wrecking people with her. I actually just won a game with her tonight in a fatal 3-way. Always reliable, can go toe-to-toe with pretty much any deck. Very versatile. 2017 Commander, by far my favorite, and I think the best that was put out. I know a lot of people will probably disagree with that, but wow, Inala rules. I mean, she's been tweaked to the max, and I'm playing stuff like Volrath's Helmet and things of that nature, but this deck is made to win. It's highly competitive, and if I'm playing out in the wild, it's definitely one that I take because I know it can win. Here's another one that I always take out with me. Old reliable Drana. Funny story. My homeboy Sean at Gamer Treasures was selling me some cards when I was wanting to beef up my commander stuff. And this was one of the cards that I had seen that I wanted, and it's foil and it's original. Let me yeah, that's foil, original Drana. See that symbol? Sorry, I can't see if I can. Yeah, that's the real deal. Anyways, we looked it up and it was like $1.50 or something like that. My homeboy almost didn't want to sell it, so we settled on $2. Probably the best deal he ever gave me. Best $2 I ever spent. Love this card. Love this deck. It's just black aggro. All the good black spells. Corrupt, Mind Twist. Anything for your face, it's got it for you. This deck can go toe-to-toe with most other decks. Just because of the versatility of the removal and things I got going on. I'm playing colorless, you know, the Scour. So I can remove permanents that might cause me trouble that I couldn't normally get away with. Black, things of that nature. Lots of vampire. That's a vampire synergy as well. Alright, we got Karanos, God of Storms. Excellent group game deck. If this thing gets going and Karanos is just doing his Karanos triggers, you can easily dwindle a 3 or 4 person game where everybody's life is like halved by the time you're on like turn 7 or turn 8. There's a lot of burn in here, lots of counter spells. It's just a counter burn deck. Good enchantments and things of that nature to get Karanos to his devotion so he can swing, because that's a 6/5 indestructible. That ain't nothing to mess with at all. Like I said, excellent for group games. It can go toe-to-toe on one-on-one as well, but its record isn't quite as good as group games. This is an old reliable for me. Alright, so now we're going to get into some of my new decks for this year. And I'll show you a little bit of synergy from them. First, we got Venser, Shaper. Here's some things I got going on there. Engulf the Shore, Tempest Jin, Naban, the Dean of Iteration. We got counter magic like Disappearing Act, so I can bounce Venser and use him again. This is pretty much like a control, but control as in bouncing their permanents. Things of that nature, slowing the game down. I really enjoy using Venser to like bounce their lands on turn 4 to set them back a turn. You got the doubling triggers. There's a lot of other legendary wizards in here and stuff that will buff the wizards, like Icon of Ancestry, Paragon of the Mists. So it's pretty much just bounce the shit out of their stuff so that they can't play anything, and then beat them down with like 3, 4, 5 wizards and that nature. It's all about the bounce oppression. Really fun in group games, can handle its own in one-on-one. I'm playing counter magic, but not as much as you might think, because it's all about bouncing their stuff. I got stuff like Engulf the Shore, the Krakens that bounce stuff equal to the lands that you control. I'm playing like Gadwick, the guy that lets you tap for 3 mana, for 3 cards, tap to draw 3 cards. The Arcanist, the Omnipotent, a lot of other stuff. Talran, the Sky Summoner, so we can be getting some Flying Drakes. Very successful so far. It's the newest of the decks that I've built, and this has only been in existence for, I'd say, about a month and a half. Very pleased with it so far. Alright, so now we have Anji. This was from the 2019 Commander set, which was way better than the 2018 in my opinion. I only bought one because I'm typically of the type that only buys one, and I got the Anji because the madness looked like absolute madness, and boy was I not wrong. I freaking love this deck. Has a lot of crazy shit going on. Had to do some major tweaking, but well worth it. And you know, I'm playing stuff like Archfiend of Ifnir. I put Judith in there, which a lot of people I see aren't doing, because this is a really heavy aggro deck with the Madness Vampires. You know, the best Madness Vampire, the Voldaren Pariah, Archfiend Despite. Sorry about the lighting, guys. I got a lot of mixed things going on here. I'm always trying new ways to film my videos to see what looks the best and what doesn't. But I've already shot like a shit ton of this video, so we're just gonna go with it. But yeah, Anji, by far my favorite. It's such a fast deck. Even though Edgar Markov is banned in Commander, I'm not afraid to play him in one-on-one. I mean, he's banned in one-on-one Commander. I'm not afraid to take it on because I have successfully fended that deck off several times. It's just such a fast deck. You could play Anji on turn 3. I've got all kinds of crazy stuff like Archfiend of Ifnir causing oppression because every time I'm discarding, I'm giving neg1 tokens to the board. This deck just is fantastic. I got a lot of cool cards in it. A lot of people were hating on like the value and what was actually put inside the Commander decks, but to be honest, no problems. Love it. Alright, so now we have Ariel, the Knight of Windgrace. Like, this is my Knight deck, and it's been getting tweaked like a mofo. This was another deck that really benefited from the release of M19 because it just came out with so much more awesome Knight stuff. I have crazy stuff going on with this deck. There's my foil Josu for your face, Vona, a little combo I got going there with Archetype of Courage and Quenda, and a lot of my other Knights have first strike, so I'm always trying to search for the Archetype of Courage, which I know isn't a Knight, but works really well with all my Knights that have first strike, giving them double strike and making this for a very potent beatdown if they don't have answers to stop the first strike and double strike. For some reason, this deck can't always get there, and like no matter what's going on, you'll have an excellent army of Knights going on. It just always seems to putter out halfway through. I've tried a bunch of different combinations of putting this deck together. It does win sometimes, though. I can overrun if left unchecked because the Knights just get so huge, and then once you get to the double striking, and you know I have lots of ways to recur my Knights and things of that nature, so that I'm always getting the value and the things that I need when I need them. Super fun. Alright, I know what you're thinking right here. You're like, Thraxi Mandar again? Yes, this is Thraxi Mandar 2. Completely different build from my other Thraxi though. This is complete token spam. Building your zombies up and attacking. I'm playing stuff like Rooftop Storm, a lot Death Barons, Diagraph Captains, the Lilianas, that helps with zombie production and zombie generation, stuff like from under the floorboards, anything that's making me some zombies. I got a Josu in there as well. It's all about getting the zombies, buffing them up, and swinging wide. I enjoy playing Thraximundar. I like his ability to make him sack when he attacks and getting the +1/+1 counters, plus having haste, so it's like immediate action. It's just great for a zombie deck. I got a lot of stuff. I got Necrozar in there. But it's all about just making a zombie horde and going Return of the Living Dead on their asses. Ooh, this is one of my newer decks, and I've been having a lot of fun with this, and my friends have not. This is Anya, the Merciless Angel, which is actually a land destruction deck with fatty angels to come in and clean up after I've wrecked your land base. Playing stuff like Planar Cleansing, Solar Blaze, all kinds of stuff to oppress the board. Huge angels like Aurelia the War Leader, the Angelic Skirmisher, her, Archangel, just big fat angels that can just get huge. Playing stuff like, oh yeah, that's a getting, baby. Restore Balance, just things to just completely screw the board. Avalanche Riders, Stone Rains, anything that like causes land destruction and possibly does this damage, like Structural Distortion and stuff like that, I'm playing it. I got a Strip Mine in here. It's all about land destruction, baby, and I've tried building land destruction a couple of times in Commander, but they've never been successful. But I think enough time has passed and enough cards have been printed, and I've got the right synergy down between my land destruction base and the angels that are coming in for the beatdown, that this deck works now. And I've won several games with these guys. Really love it. Alright, and finally, Garza Zol. Oh, this deck is really awesome. I know you see me playing a lot of black in my decks. What can I say? Black is my favorite color to play. when I'm buying cards, I'm always buying black cards for some reason because they just seem to be the best. Anyway, Garza's Old's kind of like a vampire deck, but I put a twist on it because as I was making this deck, I was thinking about Dungeons and Dragons and like what would be a fun Dungeons and Dragons adventure, and like I used that to influence my deck, and it just turned out to make it really freaking awesome. And I'm just playing crazy spells, and you know, Garza's Old's got her lieutenants like the Hauna Hightower, Clackbridge Troll, playing stuff like Stenzia Masquerade. That's a foil one, by the way. So shiny, you can kind of tell. Clone, you know, spells that she would use as a vampire wizard. And she's just really powerful as it is. Flying, haste. When she does damage, she draws cards. That is so freaking valuable. You don't understand. Flying, haste. It's just so good. I mean, 7 seems kind of expensive, but I've got tons of mana fixing in here to make that not a problem. Signets, Ignits, because I ain't ignorant. Get it? Alright, so anyways, guys, there is a look at 22 Commander decks for 2019. Let me know what you think about these decks. If you're curious about any of these decks and you'd like me to go further and do like a deck tech, let me know in the comments about which decks you'd like me to go over and I'll hook you up. Otherwise, thanks for checking out my content. Like, share, subscribe. Give me that old LSS because that kind of stuff really helps out the channel. Until 2020, when I'll do another deck tech. Let's see if I can get to 30 Commander decks. I'm Jimmy P, and we'll see you later.